start doing that, we are going to be in a backwater and should be absolutely ashamed of ourselves. We've got to accept this.
And why can't...
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Capitol Theatre and what I hope will be a wonderful discussion and conversation about climate change, how it affects us, how it will affect us in the future and future generations in this wonderful country of ours. Tonight I have 4 commissioners from the Climate Commission to answer your questions, tell you about the science, about some of the ramifications, and just be available for you to speak to and to converse with. And we'd like to keep this as very much a conversation. We don't want any political rants. We don't want people making statements if you can help it, but please be assured that you are more than welcome to ask any question that you feel should be asked. And our panel of distinguished members of the Commission will do their best to answer your... Any questions from the floor? Lady down here.
Rosemary Milson, panel. I don't think anyone here would probably disagree with the acknowledgement that there's a great deal of either non-understanding, denial or disinterest. And the bottom line has to be education. I've attended an excellent program here at TAFE, and you would not believe how hard it's been to have people come along. Absolutely excellent. So my question is, if we have to acknowledge education is the bottom line, if we're going to have people comply, try it in their own way, walk more, whatever it is, but just start to make people think that we're part of a global problem. And my question is, it may already be in the pipeline, but is it not possible for the sort of graph you gave us tonight? That's pretty clear. Little graphs with giving basic bits of information on the radio, magazines, and newspapers, because I think we're preaching here, if not to the converted, dare I say to some of the better educated, if that's the word to use, I don't like to use that word. We're then going to acknowledge a carbon tax which might be called a pollution tax and therefore might make more sense. So I think education and get to the grassroots.
Thank you.
I'm sure several of us could say something to that. Of course, we couldn't agree with you more, and in essence, that's why we're all here and why we've all decided to do this. If you go to, say, our website or the Academy of Sciences website or the CSIRO, there is lots of credible information out there written for the layperson, and that's why we're here.
And if there were some graphic, just as you've shown tonight, just a few graphic things that make it more likely to see in the papers or even on the movie or the television. Is that not possible?
Look, I think this is a really, really good point, and some of us who've actually tried to get op-eds in the newspapers or on a TV program to get some of these simple graphs up, know it has to be words. But when you look at other important aspects of our society, economics, and you go into the newspaper, there are all sorts of economics graphs. You've all seen all sorts of trend lines of what's the Aussie dollar doing, what's GDP doing, and so on. So you've got a good point. It would be great if we could convince some of our newspaper editors to just put some simple, very clear scientific graphs in the newspapers as well. So I'll take your point on board.
Gradually, since the late 1800s, that, and can you argue with the fact that the acidity of the sea is varying due to the alteration of factors? It's not how it was 20, 50 years ago. You've got to look further back and then study sea and study temperatures over a period of time and accept the fact that the people who studied and climate scientists, we've got to accept the people who fully understand. And while we deny and we're apathetic, we're not giving the people, as we've heard today, who are willing to start pricing carbon and then putting that money to renewable energy and helping the others and give people jobs in renewable. Until we start doing that, we are going to be in a backwater and should be absolutely ashamed of ourselves. We've got to accept this.
And why can't